Unfortunately, that's not the only occasion when a fox gets tangled in a net.
Yeah.
Damaged.
Well done.
Out, but let's just see what sort of damage I've come into you. There he goes. Yeah, it's working.
And now a video I simply couldn't pass by. Brown Bear Volley just rescued a drowning crow in the Budapest Zoo. Just let that sink in. A bear rescued a crow. It heard the bird crying for help and showed kindness by freeing the bird and pulling it to dry land. It looks like even the crow is struggling to believe what just happened. This lonely little fox also put its trust in people, knowing that it wouldn't survive without them. Just look at these touching moments when the fox approaches a person begging for help. And here's what happens after a while. And this fox cub got hopelessly stuck in a net. But the author of this video came to its rescue. It took a lot of effort to free it from the trap.
We'll see in a minute.
But watch this. In the final moments, it stopped for a second to glance at its savior. What might that mean? A dog found itself in a water trap and would have drowned if it weren't for the rescue crew. Look at how obedient it is, knowing they are trying to help it. This poor baby bird was unconscious from dehydration after a severe heat wave, but a person got there just in time. The bird was too weak to drink, but it gradually came to.
Mouth open, it's not gonna close.
Yes, not gonna close.
A pelican voluntarily came up to people walking on the beach. Turns out it has a triple hook stuck in its beak. Thankfully, they managed to extract it. When people build roads, they never think of the animals. And here are the consequences. This baby moose was entirely covered in asphalt. A rescue team came to its aid to clear off the moose's fur. This person got a baby monkey out from underneath the ruins and returned it to its mom. Just look at her reaction. This man freed an owl tangled up in a net. The bird's expression really conveys how happy it is.
Oh, sweetie.
This dog came to people with a snake wrapped around its snout, and the man put himself at risk to help the poor animal. But thankfully, this ended well for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Glad it wasn't a rattlesnake.
Oh my God.
When a girl noticed this cat in the forest, it was frightened and looked really rough. Nonetheless, the cat let her move it from its hiding place. It took over 2 months to bring the animal back to life, but this is what it looks like now. This bear cub had a paw stuck in a tree, and its sibling stayed right there, even trying to chew through the branch. Thankfully, a rescue team came right in time. Two young elephants got really stuck in a drying reservoir after coming there to drink some water. Just look how much effort it took to get the animals out. And finally, it took the entire village to pull an elephant calf out of a well. They even got an excavator. People decided to dig a tunnel so that the animal could climb out of its trap, and they even treated the elephant's wound. And finally, compassionate people called police to save a dog that was left in a locked car in a 90-degree heat. The animal spent several hours in the car and was close to death, but the police came right in time, giving the dog first aid and then taking it to a clinic. People heard a small blinded kitten crying and decided to help. They cleaned its eyes, gave it medicine, fed the poor animal, and made sure it was warm. Now look at it a few days later. Proper care makes a huge difference. And now check out another case. This nursing mother is in doubt. Should she ask for help from the humans? But after some time, she decides she can trust them. She led the people to her hungry pups who had no chance of survival without their help. Initially, the mother was acting protective over her babies, so the rescuers distracted her with food. The puppies were finally saved. This newborn zebra already got into trouble. It got into the water and started to drown. Thankfully, it happened when there were people close by, so they managed to pull it out of the water almost straight away.
Bravo, bravo.
And this guinea pig was rescued from a demolished building by a Ukrainian rescue squad after missile attacks. This parrot was born with a defect affecting its legs and feet. It couldn't walk or stand, but thanks to this guy's support and regular training sessions he developed specifically for his bird, their team found success. A giraffe dying of thirst during a drought came up to a person in hopes of some water. A black mamba slithered under the hood of the car when it was trying to escape people throwing rocks at it. But this fearless guy got the snake out and released it back to freedom the very next day. And this person barely managed to pull the sheep out. And then, thank you to this kind man who gave water to a hedgehog dying from thirst. This bear's head got stuck in a fuel can, and it took 10 pairs of hands to take it off. Now, the most important part is to quickly run away. Helping a deer is noble, but dangerous. Thankfully, it didn't get stuck again immediately after being freed. This pig nearly drowned during Hurricane Ian, but the rescue team got there just in time. This dog had a seizure, so the dog's owner supported the animal with her kindness. The dog is now fine.
He's still up there. Is he still alive?
It's hard to say how long this heron was hanging on its own beak, fighting for its life. But now it's saved thanks to a kind fisherman who managed to free the bird using his fishing rod.
Let's see.
A man saved a monkey from a pack of dogs, but it stopped breathing because of an injury. He swooped in with a heart massage and a mouth-to-mouth. And here's an incredible moment of a kitten being rescued a second before death. Just listen to the cries of this poor dog. It was hungry and scared, but it entrusted its life to caring people who took the dog to a shelter and brought it back to life. This duck ended up under the ice, but thankfully a person came to its rescue right in time. And now they all have a new home. Squirrels are very cheeky animals, especially when it comes to nuts. Just look at this squirrel grabbing his food. And this little squirrel paid several visits to the back door of the author of this video. Once it figured out it can get some peanuts from there. And although it was acting cautious at first, later in the video, the squirrel's fear is replaced by enthusiasm. This sugar glider got stuck on the barbed wire. Even though the little guy was fighting and biting, this person was able to help the animal and even treat its wounds.
Go, mate. Go.
And here boys are rescuing a dog from a huge snake, risking their own life in the process. Just imagine the force with which the snake squeezes its prey. Frankly, I am amazed how calm the dog was. Clearly, it trusted its saviors, and that trust pays off. This poor deer was stuck in the sill. Thank goodness humans invented excavators.
Watch me rescue a horseshoe crab.
I wonder if this clam realized the kind of trouble it was in. Nonetheless, thanks to a human, it was saved. Due to a drop in water level, this frozen lake turned into an ice trap for turtles. After a few hours of work with a chainsaw, the rescuers managed to free 40 turtles, which were subsequently taken to a vet clinic and administered first aid. These people sacrificed their tiles to rescue their cat after it accidentally climbed into the pipe vents behind the wall and got stuck.
Хорошо? Оп, перехватила? Особляй.
This little guy is still so young, but with a big heart. This tiny puppy had a very slim chance of survival when it was hit by a train. Thankfully, its cries were heard by people who saved its life. And this dolphin swam right up to the divers in the hopes of being freed from a fishing line. Now it's free, but check this out. It's not in any rush to swim away, thanking its savior instead. A pregnant goat got stuck in the middle of a cliff, and the rescue squad is trying to catch it with a net. When suddenly, thankfully, people were ready for such a situation. The goat landed into the net, and both she and her baby were saved. This wild elephant was in so much pain it went right up to the wildlife doctors to get help. How the animal knew they would help is a mystery. Doctors hit the elephant named Pretty Boy with a tranquilizer dart. And when he was down, removed the bullet stuck in its head that, luckily, didn't penetrate the skull. Grateful to get the bullet out and some pain relief, Pretty Boy then took a nap on a tree. This dog hasn't eaten anything in 5 days and was hiding behind the dumpsters, and when people finally managed to get the dog, they saw it was covered in thousands of mites. This chain was broken. It appears that the dog ran away from the owners who let it get this bad. Kind women brought the dog to a clinic where it took several hours to remove the parasites. The dog also had an injection that would help get rid of mites. Afterwards, this good girl was taken home where the battle continued. The authors of the video named the dog Jessie, and they hope that she has a long and happy life ahead of her. A man noticed a small goldfinch in the street. The bird couldn't move because its feathers were covered in ice. The man brought the goldfinch home, where he warmed the bird back up and released it. This man is rescuing his dog, left on a sailboat during Hurricane Ian, reaching 40 miles per hour. Tourists noticed a dolphin stuck in shallow water, so they released it back to the open sea. This guy is risking his life to help a dog that fell out of a window and was basically trapped on an AC unit. Take a look. The dog clearly understands what to do. Thankfully, this story had a happy ending. This blind camel was wandering through the desert in search of water for a long time. And this man came up with a way to give it water by luring the animal near a large bowl using sounds of water. This Ukrainian soldier risked his life to evacuate a hamster left in a village that was hit with missiles. Look at the state these 5 donkeys were in due to being exposed to the elements. Fortunately, people quickly saw them and came to their aid. Thanks to them, the animals are safe. These firefighters saved 150 piglets from a burning farm. Just look at this insane height! But that won't stop this guy from moving the bird's nest to a safe space. A duck nearly fell prey to a python. But as luck would have it, people came to the bird's aid and left the python without dinner.